Hey, 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 it is me, Ariane, back again with new updates, transmissions, broadcasts, messages. So I just wanted to do a quick touching on um, God, divinity, celestial hierarchies, archetypal figures, structures, biblical terms, gnosis, all of these things. The reason I want to bring this to light is because of the big changes taking place as we're moving back into pure divinity, back into the light of Creator Source, of God, of the Almighty I Am. So are we being reintroduced to these different figures, structures, terms, and these are nothing new. We've been familiar with them through many of the different texts, such as the Bible and all the other related things, also the Bhagavad Gita, any of these different, what do you call Zohar, any of these books, they all carry, many of the greatest secrets and the higher light codings of the divine kingdom. So it's just it's been distorted, it's been rearranged and used in a way to create a certain aversion within our consciousness. And we are now working to move beyond that. Those of you who are already stepping in the higher levels of consciousness, you know it's already there, you're experiencing it, you're connecting with it, and getting familiar with it once again and letting go of any type of attachments or associations you had with these terms so that you may be comfortable with this process and truly welcome in the divinity, the divine kingdom. So, and that's why I really want to touch on, my own personal thing. A year ago, I never used much terms of anything, God or angels or any of that. I had a strong resonance to a lot of Hebrew terms of God, and the many different expressions, and that's what had always gravitated me because I felt like the energy of it, not understanding it, and it's delivered, in so many ways, Hebrew uh, language, mysticism, the whole entire, uh, format. So I just went with what felt good to me, and I never really dug deeper. I started using Hebrew mantras, and just they really activated me, made me feel good, and that's what I really gravitated towards. But first time anybody would say God, I'd just be like, I'm not having part of this. I'm not my God, or this or that. Whatever came up, I had all kinds of different reactions to that. Just the very term God, and then let alone anyone read a biblical chapter or some kind of verse, or something that a saint or one of the hierarchical structures have said. I'd be like, oh man, I'm not into that. And judgment would set in, and then how I really felt about it. So no biggie. I've just been doing my process, going along with it, and it was recently I went through some very deep initiations to step into the higher levels of consciousness, and I was confronted with, reclaiming my faith, my divinity, and I was like, at the moment I had been at such a low place and frequency that I had, totally lost that and forgot it. Like I even had a team, which I'd mostly work with extraterrestrials, not so much angelics or celestials or ascended masters. I'd mostly called to my higher self and some of the extraterrestrial forces. So as I'm going back to this, I'm like, what is my divinity? Where is my faith? I don't even know. And I'm like, I'm just grabbing my books. I'm like, oh yeah, I know the divine names. The divine names are all these expressions of God. I'm like, they make me feel good. I know this is true, so I start going through them. And then a dear friend who helped me with a lot of this deeper initiation, gave me the terms, and I value what she brings through without question, and many of these things were all using the term God and divinity in somewhat. So because of where I was at, I was in complete surrender, and I said, I, I will gladly include this in my decrees and everything because I trust her that much. And bam, instantly, I'm speaking it through my heart. I'm like crying profusely, realizing these things are encoded words. They are valuable to us, and the reason That's why there's been such distortment and aversion to these terms, so that we would not use them to upgrade ourselves, to activate these light codes within our own being. So I'm just eternally grateful that I was able to go through that process and come to this realization and this knowingness now. And now, I use it on a regular basis. You know, I lend my will to the will of God. I surrender my heart, mind, body, and soul to God, Creator, Source, I am. I stand in the light of who I choose to be. I choose to be a child of God, of Creator, Source incarnate. I choose to work only in the light. All these terms, these things, like we're like, oh wow. And then working with some of the other books, especially that of J.J. Hurtak's, just have a extreme resonance with. And as I'm reading through them, I'm just getting this blast of the most divine light I've ever experienced, profound beyond words. I couldn't even imagine this magnitude of light, and I'm using some of the angelic names, some of the, God's names: Emmanuel, Jehovah, Jesus, Yesu, Iowa, Yahweh, Yod-He, Vod-He, uh, just profound what I was experiencing. So I'm just like, okay. And then what is also taking place as I'm saying these divine names and expressions, they're activating different genetic structures and cellular memory within me, reminding me of my true divine self, so that I can step back into my divine blueprint. And that's the kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven. It's the unity consciousness again. We've separated ourselves for the lower schoolhouse of earth, and now we're reconnecting because we're ready to go. We're ready to create paradise. Lessons over for those of us, that have had went through all that was necessary for our next level of growth. So, and this is what's coming in. I'm using all these divine names, and I'm like reminding myself, well, I am God. I am also that divine expression. I am that reflection. I am that I am presence. And so as I start noticing, calling out these divine names, I'm calling out the divine names within me. These are parts of me, and that's why there's countless expressions of the name of God. Shiva, Krishna, what do you want to name it? They're all different names. They're all different expressions of that perfected self. And I shouldn't say it's that the absolute supreme reality where you're existing within pure potential. There's no limitation whatsoever. You know what I mean? Where you have everything you possibly want. Granted, you move through the actions and processes necessary to achieve that. And that's what I started learning. Invoking these divine names, and then as I'm opening myself more and more, I'm awakening more and more. I'm like, I love God. The term God, I love it. I love saying it. I love saying I'm a child of God. I love saying this is God in action, and then I'll even move. Oh yeah, Allah. Thank you, Allah. Thank you, Great Spirit. Thank you, beloved. I am. All these terms, and I'm just like, oh, every time I say that, I'm saying this to every other divine God self that's out there in creation, and that's within me of creation, and my God self, because that's part of my divine blueprint, your divine blueprint, your entire being. That's what divinity is. And so by using these names, these terms and expressions, prayers, decrees, and mantras, you're activating these aspects within yourself, the kingdom within you. There's a whole overlay of the entire Godhead structure, and all the way from the macro to the micro, it's experienced in many different ways, but no separation, no difference. It's just different playing fields of reality. Sometimes a little bit different structure, and that's where some of the different divine names come from, which are all gods. They're just different universal constructs and frameworks. So, and that's the big thing when you're looking at all the different names and expressions of God, divine, and whatnot. So, as we move into higher consciousness, these are part of the energetic overlays. These beings are archetypal figures. We may have known them as living characters within our reality and our history, but they also exist in many systems, in many different forms, uh, because they represent the blueprints of higher consciousness in the divine template. And that's why they're delivered to each system that is in discord or in imbalance. They are brought in to bring balance and to bring the divine back into the reality where there's been lack. So that is the purpose of these hierarchical and archetypal structures and figures. It's absolutely amazing and beautiful. So if you still have an aversion to it, no worries. Just be open. I want to plant this seed. Be open that these terms are going to be thrown around more. These concepts are going to be thrown around, but we're going to get the detail also, the clarity that helps us to better understand this, which was never there before. It's all been shrouded in mystery, which was for a good reason. And we've learned many of these lessons. We're ready to move beyond that, and now that's why they're bringing us through these energies and are giving us these the clarity on it, the full format, so that we can deliver it to the collective, and that you can have a better understanding and then use it as a tool and a resource to connect with all that is, with all that you are, your truest self, your divine self, your God self. And that's what it's all about. That's what using these divine names, structures, terms, and everything, and that's what even the text, the Bible, the different uh, books out there, they're all highly, highly encoded with light filaments of the divine. So their actual stories, do not pay any mind to them. Some of them are representing the energetic activations that take place on the inner reality. And if you have a developed inner vision, you will start seeing this. You'll know what they're saying when you read this, and you're just like, maybe this never happened in real life. This is what this is explaining, the energetic activation within my own celestial hierarchy, but within my own Godhead structure. Here come, Mother Mary to do a blessing. The Christ is born within the heart. There's all these different things that, of what they're explaining and conveying, and it's on multiple layers of consciousness. These texts are written on anywhere from 5 to 10 levels or even more levels of consciousness, so they can be interpreted and understood with each level of progression that you move through, in the evolution. So it's just amazing, absolutely amazing. So I just want to put it out there, and bring these terms, some light to it, a little bit of perspective, and I leave it to you for the rest. How it affects you, how it moves you, how it makes you feel, that's with you and your creator self, your divine self, you and creation and all that is. Maybe you don't, even want to work with that. That's no worries. I just want to put it out there. This is what it is. This is what my experience it is. And this is what it's being delivered to me, from the higher realms of light. So, and I'm grateful to share this. And I know those of you that are watching and hearing this, it's going to touch your heart. You'll know, that's it. I feel it. I know that. I just needed to hear that right now. Trigger, trigger, light bulb, brrr, and that's what we do for each other. We assist one another and just say, hey. And then we go, okay, I know. And the knowing without knowing sometimes. And that's even the beauty, because once you tune in, it's all there. It's not up here. It's all up here. We bring it in through the heart and we translate it and interpret it through here. And that's where we're at. So, quite anything we thought, felt, or associate with God or them divine names and expressions, release that, let them go, and allow this to come in through the heart and to see how it makes you feel there. See how it rests within your being, and so that you have the opportunity to give it the proper discernment that it deserves, and that's using the heart, not the mind or the ego of the lower functioning, but to the higher functioning, the high heart, this heart center, your true divine heart that connects you to God, Creator, Source, I am, all that is, the Great Spirit, and that's where it's at. So thank you for letting me touch base and bring through, just a lot of my takes on this and what is taking place, and things to look forward in what is being presented and delivered now. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much for this opportunity to share this, and thank you for receiving with your heart and with open mind. This is a very, very exciting times, and we're all blessed to be moving into awareness. So thank you so much, you beloved, divine, amazing, spectacular, fantabulous, and miraculous divine beings of agape love. I love each and one of you so much. Thank you all for sharing this miracle of life with me and with all other expressions, not in even just our planet, but all the way out as far as it extends and your life force does. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful, so honored, and so joyed. Best day ever. Woo! I love you all, and until next episode, stay tuned. We'll see you. Adonai.